Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Wolves 1, Manchester United 1. Bloody Wolves again. Wolves again. What a bloody surprise. I mean, will we ever beat Wolves at Molineux? I don't know. I don't know whether we're going to. I tell you what, I was expecting Wolves today. They speak so highly of themselves. They're such a good team. I was expecting the wolf from bloody, the Three Little Pigs. The massacre wolf who eats pigs and destroys the opposition. And what we got was bloody Paw Patrol, who just happily just let you do what they want and give you a high five with their paws. Take a doggy bag home, 3 points. That's what it was looking like for 45 minutes. And then, a game of two halves. This is why we love the game. This is why we love the game of football. And I'm sure in the fullness of time, I'll take that result and go, it's not too bad. Wolves haven't lost at home for 7 months. They're a good team. A point at Wolves is a good point. Oh, I'll even fall into that trap. But right now, it's 2 points dropped. I'm really disappointed. Really disappointed with that result today. And I think in some ways, I've got to be honest, in some ways, it's probably the best thing that could happen to us. Better to get reality bitten now, dogs, wolves, bitten, see what I mean? Better to get a reality bite now than to get it after 5 wins where you think you're going to win the league. If we'd won tonight, we'd have been, we're going to win the league. I knew that would happen. If we'd lost, we're going to finish mid-table. A draw is probably a halfway home, isn't it? But it was a game of two halves. And in many ways, I felt that game was reciprocal of last season. The first 3 months under Ollie were brilliant. The last 3 months were absolutely rubbish. And I think that game was a bit like that. First half, totally in control. You can't see how you're going to lose it. We just need the second goal. Second half, all that control disappears for a long part of it. We were always in contention. We were always like we were in the last 3 months of the season. We always had a chance at top 4. And that penalty was a bit like that, but we blew it. And a point at the end of the day was a fair result. I mean, I thought I gave Wolves a lot of stick. They parked the bus, and I was like, why are you parking the bus against us if we're so bad? And they parked the bus. They were the most negative team I've ever seen. Then the second half, they brought Adama Traore on. They had a go at us, and they deservedly got a point. And I tell you what, the most embarrassing thing is, from a United perspective, is here. We had, I'll double check it on the OneFootball app, which you can download, link in the video description. I'll double check it in a moment, but we had double the amount of passes that Wolves had. And we had well over 65% possession. They had the same amount of shots on target as we did. I'm sorry, that's not good enough. If you have double the amount of passes the opposition have, and you have way more possession, and they have the same amount of shots on target as you, that exposes the problem back in March at Molineux. We can't break them down. We can't create chances, and that's bad on us. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Jonathan Demole says, first it was Gary Monk and Swansea, now it's Nuno Santos. I'm fuming, Mark. I sort of, you know what? I think the problem with Manchester United today is that, look, we are a work in progress. We know that. So you've got to, you can't go too mad. We are a work in progress. So yeah, let's say that. But on the other hand, you cannot have that amount of possession in football and not create more than 2 shots on goal. It wasn't good enough. And I think about the second half when Wan-Bissaka cut it back to Jesse Lingard and he hits thin air. I think if he hits that and puts it in 2-0, it's game over. And it is fine margins at this level, especially when you're playing the teams that are around that top 8 sort of teams. But the United's biggest problem for me is, look, if you think Wan-Bissaka was man of the match, please smash a like on the video, because I thought he was absolutely superb again. What a signing he was. I thought Maguire and Lindelof had very little to do. We'll do player ratings in a minute, but they had very little to do. I thought Wan-Bissaka was amazing, absolutely amazing, best player on the pitch. Smash a like if he was your man of the match. But the problem for United, for me, a lot of people getting on at Rashford. He was wasteful. Martial became more wasteful in the second half after a brilliant first half. Daniel James isn't ready. He's not ready. I'm sorry. He's full of running. He's full of endeavour. He's full of passion. But I just don't know what he did on that pitch. And I'll let you decide. It's a democracy. I've purposely taken him off because I don't want to give him a player rating. I don't want to be negative at the start of the season towards these lads. And I've took Daniel James out there because I'm scared to give the player rating. Maybe I should give a player rating. We'll see. I will give one actually. And bollocks, we're not going to be that sort of channel. But I didn't think Daniel James played very well at all today, and I just don't think he's ready for that sort of a thing. But let me just talk about the penalty very, very quickly. What are we doing? We are not a Sunday morning pub team. This is not the Dog and Duck FC. This is not, oh, do you want to take it, Paul? oh, you can take it. You scored last week, Rashford. You grabbed the penalty ball. You take it. Your penalty last week against Chelsea was superb. Absolutely superb. You take the penalty. I'm not having this. This is weak. This is weak, weak, weak. And it may not be weak in the dressing room, and it may not be weak in what Ollie is saying, but it will be perceived as weak by opposition fans, and by us fans. It is weak. Rashford scored a very good penalty last week. We get another penalty. Rashford takes it. That's what strong teams do. You don't hand the ball to Paul Pogba because he got fouled. It's weak. It's inconsistent. Grab the penalty ball, take it on the spot, and take the shot. If Rashford misses, you go, maybe he's not the penalty taker. But no, Pogba should not have took that penalty. I don't care whether he won it or not. Rashford should have took the penalty. And, you know, I'm not going to go in on Pogba. Look, if Pogba scores, we go, oh, that's amazing. I just think Rashford should have took the penalty. And I don't know why he didn't, but he should have took the penalty. You don't miss a penalty last week and then not take a penalty this week. I thought that was wrong. But let me really focus on this, because to be honest with you, the run from Pogba, the flick from Martial was brilliant. There was no contesting the fact that Pogba was going to take the penalty. I'm just actually watching it on the screen now. Pogba made the penalty. So we're going to have a go at him for missing it. But I think Rashford should have took it. Really good play between him and Martial. But let's get back to the most important point here. United had double the amount of passes that Wolves had across 90 minutes. We had over 65% possession, and we had the same amount of shots on target as Wolves had. That's not acceptable. That is not acceptable. You give that amount of passing and possession to Man City or Liverpool, and they will create loads of chances. We didn't create enough chances. Why didn't we create enough chances in that game? I will tell you why we didn't create enough chances in that game. Very, very simply, that midfield of McTominay, Lingard and Pogba are not creative enough. And more importantly, Jesse Lingard is not creative enough. And I thought Lingard did a lot of good. A lot of hard work, a lot of running. But you've got to create. You're that player. You are that player. Pogba and McTominay sat deeper and rotated the ball. Pogba created a penalty and he was playing deeper. Lingard, how many chances did Lingard create for Rashford, Daniel James or Martial? I can't remember one. Has Lingard got that defence splitting pass? Has Lingard got that creativity in his locker? If he hasn't, he shouldn't play in that position. Put him out on the right. We had so much of the ball today and we didn't create enough chances. And the most important player to do that is Jesse Lingard. He has got to get on the ball and he has got to feed the attackers in front of him. There's no point in being negative to Martial today or Rashford or Daniel James in relation to chances on goal, because they're not there to do that. They are there to be provided with chances, and we didn't create enough chances today, and we didn't create enough chances in March. And we go back to what we said in the summer. I wanted Bruno Fernandes. We didn't get him. Some other people wanted other players. We know that midfield is ridiculously weak. You bring in Juan Mata on with 20 minutes to go or 10 minutes to go. Juan Mata, when he's running forward, he's going backwards. Like, what did Juan Mata do? Played a crap corner. I mean, we don't have the depth in that midfield. And I just wonder, like a lot of you, where is Angel Gomez? Like, Angel Gomez is quick. Angel Gomez has got creativity. Angel Gomez is a creator of chances. Like, are we on a rebuild, Ollie? Because if we're on a rebuild, I'll take that point today and say, look, we're on a rebuild. We probably won't even get top 4. But if we're on a rebuild, let's get Angel Gomez in the team, because he's quick, he's creative. And today, you had a slow creative player in Mata and a quick uncreative player in Lingard, and neither worked. Let's just play Angel Gomez. Put Angel Gomez into that role, and maybe we'll do better. But to me, all in all, I come out of that Wolves game with a bitter taste in my mouth and think, was there a lot of difference from the games we lost in March? Defensively, we were better and we got a point and didn't get beat. But offensively, we were no better. We didn't create many chances. We had loads of the ball again. And I think if we hadn't bought Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, we would have lost that game 2-1 again. So we've improved, but we've improved in the area we knew we were going to improve on. That's the defence. The midfield is still not creative enough for the attackers that we've got. And you can't be critical of Martial and Rashford and James in relation to scoring goals, because they didn't get the chances to score goals. The midfield have got to create chances. Camilio10 says McSauce is just not good enough for a top 6 level. Look, in relation to McTominay, not going to go in on him. I said, too many of you lot are saying he's the finished article. Why? Where's the evidence? He's a work in progress. He is a work in progress. I thought Wan-Bissaka was absolutely fantastic. I thought, as a manager, you've got to talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and has he learnt enough from 2 distinct losses to Wolves very recently? Has he learnt from that? He said he was going to learn from it. What has he learnt? I don't know. What has he learnt from that game? He's gone there with a stronger back 5. The defence is better. But what has he learnt offensively? I didn't see anything different against... And Wolves were exactly the same. Wolves were a back 5 with 10 behind the ball when they could. They were the same team we played in March, and we still didn't create many chances. And that is, again, Ollie is a work in progress. I don't think he responded to that second half very well at all. I think the changes came way too late. There was again, it was a second half of hope, and Pogba nearly provided the hope. He created the penalty and he missed it, but we didn't do enough in the second half to win the game. And a point is a fair result. A point is a fair result. Let's go on to the player ratings then. Let's get my pen working first. So De Gea, I'd give him a 6. Really didn't have a lot to do. Hey, let me just say, the goal from Ruben Neves was creme de la creme. It was absolutely fantastic. What a finish it was. You watch that back. Shaw and Wan-Bissaka close him down perfectly, but he gets the trajectory over Wan-Bissaka's back and into the one spot De Gea can't get it. It's brilliant. But it was crap from United defensively. That was a corner routine where they blast it to the edge of the box and Ruben Neves runs onto it. Like, who's watching that? That is poor. That is really poor. And I can't figure out who's at fault, whether it's Luke Shaw, whether it's somebody higher up the pitch, whether it's Wan-Bissaka. I don't know. But that is poor from United's point of view. Lindelof, I'd give him a 6, and Maguire, I'd give it a 6. I mean, they had nothing to do, so to give him anything more than that would be harsh. I'm going to give Luke Shaw a 6. I know haters will give him lower. I think Adama Traore caused him a lot of problems one-on-one. But look, some wingers will cause people trouble. And he is a very direct, fast midfield winger, and he caused him problems. But I thought in the first half, Luke Shaw was probably up there with Wan-Bissaka for man of the match. He just fell off in the second half. Wan-Bissaka, a 9. I mean, I thought he was head and shoulders above everybody else. I thought he was absolutely superb. I wouldn't go as low as a 5 for McTominay. I'd give him a 6. I thought he was okay. Maybe a 5, but I don't really see the point in going in on players at the moment. Lingard, I think if we're later in the season, you give him a 5. I'm going to give him a 5. He had a bad second half and he's not creative enough, but he did work hard in the first half. I just think you've got to be true to the fact that it was a 5. Pogba, I'd give him a 6. Good first half. He made the penalty, he missed the penalty. Pogba out, people. Come on, let's get real. Rashford, 5. And what pushed me from an average... I thought Rashford had a good first half, but what pushed me from giving Rashford a 6 was shooting from that opportunity to cross again. It was like we went back to last season. He's got to get back to this positive time. Martial, I'll give him a 7. I think if you're giving Martial a 6, you don't understand the hard job he had today. He's up against 3 centre-backs. In the first half, he was amazing. He was probably an 8 or a 9 in the first half. In the second half, he couldn't hold the ball up as well, but he never stopped running, so I'd give him a 7. Daniel James, I'm going to give him a 5, and I'm brave enough to do that because I've given Lingard and Rashford a 5. I thought Daniel James had a bad game. I did. I thought he was full of running, and I really like him, but we've got to be honest on the player ratings. It's not a hate thing. It's nothing like that. It's not an agenda. I've got no agenda against any of the players. I thought in the first half they grafted hard. In the second half, not as good. And I'm going to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a manager rating out of 10 as well. And I'm going to give Ole... I'm going to put it on my shirt. I'm going to give him a 5. I thought second half, not enough. Not enough. And I didn't see enough improvement from the games in March. And he's got to learn to break teams down. And I'm sorry. I mean, look, you can download the OneFootball app. The link's in the video description. We're going to take some of your comments in a minute. Please do download it. Link in the video description. It's a free app. It's on Apple and Android. You can get all your latest Manchester United news on there. You can get all your stats on there as well. And from the game today, we had 65% possession to 35% Wolves. We had 2 shots on target and they had 2 shots on target. we had 652 passes. They had 352 passes. We had nearly double the amount of passes they had. Over 300 more passes than them. 65% possession, and we still only had 2 shots on goal. I'm sorry, that's not good enough. It's not. It isn't. And it's, I still think the point will be a good point tomorrow. And I still think we're a work in progress. And I'm not ranting. I'm just saying, if we're a work in progress, that wasn't good enough today. You can't have that amount of the ball and that much possession and still end up with the same shots on target as the opposition. You've got to create more. And the same happened in March. So where is the improvement? The improvement is the back four. We didn't lose the game because we've got a stronger back four. But offensively, there's no improvement. We're not creating enough chances against teams that sit back against us. I think it's time to get Angel Gomez in. I really do. I really do think it's time to get Angel Gomez in. I don't think Lingard's got the creativity and Mata's too slow. I would get Angel Gomez in. I really would. I think we need somebody who, when they've got the ball, they can find a pass, a reverse pass, a no-look pass, something. And that's Angel Gomez's game. He is a creator. And I would get him in as quick as possible. I suppose what it also does as well, in a very interesting way, I mean, Lars Erik Brabachan says, McTominay 1 average game and people say out, give time. No. I'm going to stick up for McTominay here. There is no way in a million years Scott McTominay should be taken out of that team because the alternative is Matic. And McTominay is quicker than Matic. He moves the ball quicker than Matic, and he gets across the ground quicker than Matic. You've got to stick with it. We didn't buy a midfielder. It's McTominay or Matic, and it's McTominay every single game for me. Yes, McTominay didn't play well today, but I do not want to go back to Nemanja Matic. No way. Not in a million years do I want to do that. So, no. Yeah, he didn't play well today, but we're going to get that. We didn't invest in the midfield, so we're going to get that. Daniel James could be a really good signing for United. He didn't play well today. Let's not pretend he played well just because we like the lad. He didn't. We've got to own this. We've got to own the fact that we're a work in progress. We've got to own the fact that we will struggle to get top 4. We know that. So let's not start going crazy. The board didn't bring midfielders in, and that will hurt. And today, you know what? We win that game. We win that game if we had some creativity from the midfield, and that's what annoys me the most. We would have won that game with the midfield. You look at the possession, 65%. You look at the amount of passes we had more than them. We had the platform to win the game. The defence did their bit. They did their bit. They only conceded 1 goal. So you've got to create more chances. How do you create more chances? You have midfielders who can create chances. Pogba and McTominay are too deep to do that, really. They're picking the ball up in front of our back four. There's a whole other half a pitch in front of them. Lingard's got to create chances. Daniel James has got to create chances. Rashford's got to create chances. Rashford created the goal. How many chances did Lingard and Daniel James create? Wan-Bissaka would have had an assist. Like, it was his cutback to Lingard, and Lingard kicked through thin air. Like, Lingard and Daniel James, if they're going to play, they've got to create chances. And it really, really does, and I don't know what you lot think, it really does make you think now, can you let Alexis Sanchez go? I think it's a brave thing to do, and before tonight, I was like, let's do it. After tonight, I'm like, but maybe Alexis Sanchez is that player that's got that little bit of guile. Maybe Alexis Sanchez is the player that you play in the Lingard position. I don't know. It's slim pickings. It really is. Justin Monday says Wan-Bissaka is defensively sound, but he looked like a deer in the headlights going forward. But he created a chance. He would have had an assist if Lingard had scored. So, Mark, you seem sad to give out player ratings, says Joe Alexander. I am sad to give out player ratings because I don't want to go in on the players. It's too early, but we should have won that game. It's 2 points dropped. The Turbo Warrior 343, Tahith Chong deserves a shout too, not just Angel. Ano Palyapan, this is what happens when Pogba takes an off day. His passes were not clicking and our midfield just became static. Thanks for the contribution, Daniel Brunt. Carlos Rondon, Mata was the wrong substitution. Greenwood should have come on instead. Why bring Greenwood on with only 2 minutes to go? Again, you're going for experience, aren't you again? 4 points from Chelsea and Wolves is a solid return, says Extra E. Palace at home with Liverpool playing Arsenal. More points will be dropped. Marathon, not a sprint. Look, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. When I wake up tomorrow, 4 points after the first 2 games isn't bad from a team that was terrible in 6th. we are a work in progress, but I think we know where the problem is. It's the midfield, isn't it? Lars Eric Bropican says McTominay 1 average game. Yeah. Joe Dawson, you talk about the penalty Rashford scored last week and therefore should take it again. Pogba's got a 37% miss rate compared to Rashford's 0%, and it cost us. I agree. Rashford should have took the penalty. It's weak. It's pub football. That you've got to have continuity with the penalty. You've got to grab it. I scored last week, I'm taking it again. None of this, oh, do you want it? I'll take it. No. Grab the bloody ball. If nothing is working for 70-odd minutes, then make a change. Why delay till 80 minutes? We lacked creativity, says Anup Alyupan. Chloe Jenkins, I don't blame Pogba for the miss. Hit it well. Blame VAR. God's sake, get it right. Should have been retaken. Replay show his left foot was well off the line. Their goal could have been given offside as well, couldn't it? I mean, that would have been hilarious. Zeki Hardy says subs should have come on the pitch earlier. Camilio 10, McSauce is just not good enough. Peter Abbat making mistakes already early in the season. Eduardo Balanes, let's sign Raul Jimenez next transfer window. And remember as well, Wolves hit the post. That should have gone in. You know, are we lucky to get a point? Anup Alyupan would the intensity and urgency were there to switch next year. You're losing, passing around. Note my words. I think the lack of attacking fullbacks is a problem, says Amand. So is Lingard and McTominay. I thought the fullbacks got well today. I thought the fullbacks did get well today. I thought that was the one good bit about Luke Shaw's game, actually. There was countless times he got forward and Wan-Bissaka. Theo Paul, Ollie is shown to be tactically inexperienced, lack of midfield creativity. Pogba was wrong to steal the penalty of Rashford. Shaw was bypassed throughout. Sam Masters, James isn't ready and Lingard will never be ready. Abanaf, in the know, why did Ollie not make subs earlier? James and Lingard were not having any impact. Get them off earlier and get Pereira and Greenwood in. Too naive. Ryan FDW cannot keep picking Lingard because he runs around. Wayne Barrett, we had so many corners and not one good delivery. That's a cracking point. That is a brilliant point. You got Harry Maguire, who's good in the air, and the corner delivery was shit tonight. It was. That is one thing that frustrated me that I'd forgotten about. Mars T, Traore, who is Wolves' bench warmer, has just gone and ripped Luke Shaw a new one. If he isn't able to handle a less than average winger, then he shouldn't be playing for United. He was shocking tonight. I disagree with that. Adama Traore will tear up most fullbacks. He just doesn't fit the way that Nuno wants to play. He wants to park the bus. He had to go for it in the second half, so Traore came on. Blands, do you see Spurs sitting winning in this match today? Yeah, City would have won that game 3 or 4-0 because they would have created chances with all that possession. Pack 376, Traore absolutely battered Shaw when he came on. Zeki Haradij says that the subs needed to come on the pitch sooner. That's a running theme. Gabriel K.O. Byrne says Lingard is trash but loved by Ollie for some reason. Thanks for the contribution from Conan Phillips. Ollie takes far too long to make subs, says Richard Stainer. Alligator, Ollie got outmanaged in the second. Subs, tactics, etc. He didn't counter with any changes. Infuriated. Your chin looks nice tonight, Mark, says Prem Mayo. I'm sure there's a lot of people who'd like to smack it. Do you see Spurs? Yeah, I would. Ollie proving again he's proactive, not reactive, says Exide's Cold Killer. First it was Gary Monk. Yeah, we did that one. I love Ollie, but again I question his subs timing, says J. Anderson. This game shows that United needs a midfielder and Pogba miss is not the reason that United lost. That's from Theo Lunson. Look, I agree. I agree with everybody's comments tonight. I think ultimately we'll come out of that game and we'll be happy with 4 points from the opening 2 games. From the first half, you feel that Manchester United are going to win it. From the second half, on reflection, I'd forgotten about the chance to hit the post for Wolves. They more than deserved a point. United didn't create enough chances with the amount of possession we had. And we haven't learned enough. We haven't learned enough from the last game as far as I'm concerned. But we took a point. Crystal Palace on Saturday becomes a massive game now. We've got to go and win that. But for me, the big thing from the game was, I don't think Jesse Lingard had a terrible game, but the person in that position has got to create chances, and they didn't create chances today, and that's what cost us. So that's why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got a 5 for me as well, because creativity wasn't there, and you could see it with half an hour to go. The creativity wasn't there. Pogba got us a penalty out of nothing. Brilliant play between him and Martial. How many other good chances did we create in that game? There just wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. Med3 says Jesse can't take time to try Gomez as a number 10. I'd love to see Gomez trying as a number 10. And Nicholas Bentner says, how can Ollie or scouts say that Bruno isn't good enough for United but play Lingard and McTominay in centre midfield? It's embarrassing. Also, Gary Neville slating Pogba again. Pogba will put a request in. Well, I'm going to go and listen to what Gary Neville's got to say, because I don't agree with that, and I will be putting a tweet out. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Fan cams are coming in very, very soon. Smash a like on the video. Wan-Bissaka, my man of match again. Look, it's not the end of the world, but we've got to have our eyes open to the issues. 4 points from the opening 2 games. I think most of us would have took that. But we should have won that game. We had more than enough of the ball to do it. And I do feel it's 2 points dropped. We go again. We go away again on Saturday. Let's see what the fans at the ground have got to say. I'm really interested to see what the fan cams have got to say, actually. Keep your eye out. They're coming soon. Thanks, everyone. Subscribe if you're new. I'll speak to you soon.